For as long as there have been written records, psychopaths have been an intriguing part of the human population. They rape, they murder, they steal, all without remorse. Psychopaths are masterminds in mimicking natural human behaviors and emotions. They use their charm, their seemingly pleasant personalities, their cool confidence to get closer to their victims. They do not seem like violent, emotionless criminals. The most terrifying trait of psychopathy: there are no effective treatments for adult psychopaths. Psychopaths are narcissists who see no flaws within themselves. Their brains do not have proper human emotions such as empathy and remorse because of the high quantity of white matter instead of gray matter in the prefrontal cortex. Adult psychopaths are made worse with group therapy because they learn personal details about people, and their group members are likely to be hurt or killed because of this. However, all hope for these people is not lost. Juvenile psychopaths have shown to respond to decompression treatment. Decompression treatment is a form of highly intensive therapy that is targeted toward juvenile psychopaths. The treatment teaches juvenile psychopaths to develop empathy or to at least develop empathetic reasoning. Decompression treatment takes elements of other therapeutic treatments, combines, and improves them to treat at-risk children. For example, group therapy helps children learn right from wrong and how to interact with other children in a socially acceptable manner. The young psychopaths will spend hours in therapy every day for at least 6 months and up to a year. This treatment is the most effective form of therapy ever engineered for incorrigibles, and children and teens who have gone through decompression treatment have shown significant signs of improvement as humans who function in society. Decompression treatment for children and adolescents exhibiting signs of psychopathy is the best way to prevent violent psychopathic behavior, despite any ethical issues some people may fear. Psychopathy develops between the ages of 8 and 14 years old on average. The early signs of psychopathy are obvious: superficial charm, need for constant stimulation, pathological lying, manipulative behavior, lack of remorse or guilt, lack of empathy, poor behavioral controls. Children exhibiting these signs are very different from regular children when they misbehave. The distinction lies within the severity and clarity of the behaviors exhibited in psychopathic juveniles compared to non-psychopathic juveniles. Because stages 2 and 3 of the 6 stages of moral development are so different — stage 2 is selfish and stage 3 is the development of empathy — juvenile psychopaths are not able to be diagnosed. However, their red flags should still be closely monitored and treated accordingly because psychopaths can be incredibly dangerous to large populations if they are allowed to grow into the illness, especially because, like dangerous wild animals, they lack the reasoning to control their behaviors. One particular red flag that should be closely monitored and fixed immediately is the presence of abuse or instability in a child's home. While psychopathy is a predisposition to brain development, it is possible that a psychopath's criminal behavior is triggered by abuse in an unsteady home. Psychopathy is also likely to be passed down if at least one of the parents of the child is a psychopath, and homes with known psychopath and children should be monitored closely in order to prevent future violent psychopathic behaviors. Psychopaths are highly likely to become violent criminals. Psychopaths are 20 to 25 times more likely than non-psychopaths to be imprisoned for violent crimes, 4 to 8 times more likely to violently recidivate compared to non-psychopaths, and are resistant to most forms of treatment. Because these people can be so dangerous, they need to be treated in order to protect the general population. So far, decompression treatment is the only treatment that works. Unfortunately, there was no improvement whatsoever in the adult psychopathic population. The only solution: treating juveniles. Young psychopaths can be taught to be successful and important people within society. Some people think psychopaths cannot function within society, but there are psychopaths who are high functioning in society, although they exhibit typical symptoms of psychopathy such as grandiosity, impulsivity, remorselessness, and shallow affect. The fact that some psychopaths have learned to benefit the general population is incentive to try to help children with psychopathic behaviors so they can also learn to live quality lives outside of prisons, which benefits the general population and the psychopaths themselves. Diagnosing children with psychopathy is difficult. Psychopathy cannot be formally diagnosed until adulthood, so treating children for psychopathy is impossible. Some may argue that because children with psychopathic behaviors will most likely escalate through their development, there may be little point in diagnosing them. But this is unfair because this mindset prevents children from getting help, and psychopathy itself is not being diagnosed. The behaviors are what children would be getting treated for. Because of decompression treatment, there is a point in identifying psychopathic behaviors. These behaviors can now be treated, and their escalation can be prevented. Among the ethical issues some people may see with treating juvenile psychopaths, coerced treatment is an issue as well as moral loss. Because of this, there is no painless outcome when treating children for psychopathic behaviors. However, because these individuals can be so detrimental to the rest of society, It is not useless to take preventative steps in making sure these behaviors do not cause innocent people to be harmed. Shame, morality, insecurity, emotions that are core to human nature and would be caused by trauma from treatment, are not present in psychopaths. Therefore, they will not feel harmed because of therapy and support that allows them to grow into productive, meaningful members of society. Still is the argument that children should not be labeled psychopaths. This is true. It is unfair to label a child a psychopath in the case that their development happens to be slow. Unless that child is very clearly going to be a danger to the rest of society, that label may cause them to be ostracized and neglected before they are even able to mature and fully develop. Technically, however, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM, does not recognize psychopathy in anybody. It is recognized as antisocial personality disorder, ASPD. Because of this, children will not be labeled as psychopaths and will avoid that social stigma. They are not being treated as psychopaths. They are being treated as children exhibiting potentially dangerous behaviors. Without labeling children with a disorder, decompression treatment offers them a safe and supportive environment in which they can learn to thrive and in which they are prevented from inhibiting peers and fellow citizens from thriving as well. Psychopaths are often dangerous people. They are risky to other people's lives, and adult psychopaths are incorrigibles that cannot be treated, so treatment of psychopathic behaviors during childhood is the only effective option. It is likely that every person will come across at least one psychopath in their lifetime. An unlucky handful of those people will not only meet psychopaths, but they will become their victims. Psychopathy affects a large population, and any form of humane treatment, such as decompression treatment, should be taken advantage of in order to keep the world safe. Support never hurt anybody, but psychopaths will.